Hi Virgo, welcome to Sweet Tea Astrology and Tarot. My name is Erica. Welcome to the channel. I'm so glad that you found me. This is your August 2017 Tarot and Astrology video scope where I'm going to take this astrology, this placement of the stars and the cards that fall, and try to give you the most empowering information and story that I can for you for this August 2017. I'm still struggling with my health. I finally got my voice back again for the second time, and have babied it for a few days, so hopefully I won't lose my voice again after shooting a few of these videos, because that's been a case that I've been dealing with since I started shooting the August videos. So I'm sorry that this video is out later than I intended, but nonetheless, I am sending you love, and I do hope that you enjoy what's in it. I also want to say very quickly, hi, hello, welcome, and I'm so glad that you're here. To my new subscribers, I'm not very good at acknowledging your presence here, but I do see my channel numbers rising every day, and it's quite a thrill to see that you've joined this little community here. Okay, with that, Virgo, August is going to be very powerful. Let me say happy birthday to the early Virgo babies out there. And go ahead and put on your safety gear. Get your helmet and your elbow and knee pads out, because it's going to be a bumpy month. We've got eclipse season, and we have Mercury going retrograde in your sign, Virgo. So, on the 7th of the month, we will be experiencing a lunar eclipse at 15 degrees of Aquarius. And what's interesting is that for Virgo rising, this will be occurring in the 6th house. The 6th house is the house that's ruled by Virgo traditionally. And it's the house of your work and health, or the competency and skills you bring to the services that you provide. It's also your daily to-do list, your daily agenda, and the things that you do on a very regular or daily basis to make your body and surroundings work at the most efficient rate possible. Lunar eclipses are tied to endings, resolutions, culminations, and chapters closing that you may not have had a whole lot of say in how it was going to play out. It could also be tied to feminine energy. The impacts of this lunar eclipse will not only be felt for anyone who has strong Aquarius energy, and this is where astrology is cool. If you know your natal chart, then you know your planetary placements, and you can see not only where the eclipse is occurring for you and where it would be impacting you natally, but also where it would be transiting for you through progressed charts, etc., etc. But the impact level here is for 10 to 15 degrees of the fixed signs, and that would be in Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius. So that'll be, like I said, again, occurring in the 6th house, the house of work and health. Now, on the 12th of the month, we've got Mercury, your ruling planet, going retrograde in your sign. So, Virgo, you are going to have a difficult time with thought, movement, and communication. You're not going to be understood very well, or you're going to be misunderstood a lot. There will be possible miscommunication, either playing a lot of phone tag or missing emails. Make sure you check your spam folders. Do not text and drive during this time. Because I don't advocate texting and driving at any time, because they say that your distraction level is that or greater than someone who is impaired by alcohol. So, Mercury retrograde, you're going to have a difficult time with those issues around thought, movement, and communication. Watch your communication devices as well. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me get a drink of tea. This retrograde for Virgo rising, it will be occurring in your 1st house. That's the house of the physical embodiment of who you are and how the world sees you. It's your physical body, it's your appearance, it's your personality. It's what the world sees in you before they know you. It would also be a really good time for you to go back and redo anything that has the prefix RE in front of it, because retrogrades are a really good time for that. And by the time you watch this video, all of our outer planets will be in retrograde motion still. So a lot of time for reflecting. Good time for reflecting. On the 21st of the month, we've got a solar eclipse at 28 degrees of Leo, and the impacts will be on two different modalities. The first of that would be 24 to 30 degrees of the fixed signs, which are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And secondary to that is 0 to 4 degrees of the mutable signs, which could involve you because that's Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. So check your chart if you have it. If not, you can generate one by going to astro.com and filling out the birth information. You need to know your birth date, birthplace, birth time, and it will give you a picture of the sky and where the planets were according to your perspective on Earth from the moment you took your first breath here. I think there's something beautiful about that just in itself. This solar eclipse is going to be occurring for you Virgos in the 12th house, Virgo rising. The 12th house is the house that's ruled by Pisces, and it's the house of our limitation, our self-undoing, sometimes where we self-sabotage. It's the house of karma. It's the house of secret enemies and secrets that you keep from yourself through repression. It's secrets that are kept from you and secrets that you keep from others. It's the darkest, innermost recesses of the mind is how I like to think of it. It's the subconscious, and it's also the dream space. Now, solar eclipses are new life, new breath, new growth, new life force energy coming into the area of life where the eclipse is occurring for you. Solar eclipses also are tied to the masculine energy. A good way to think about eclipses or to think of it as walking into a room and all of a sudden the lights go out, the power goes out for whatever reason, and your eyes get adjusted to the darkness. And then the power comes back on, and you see the room through a different perspective. Nothing in the room has changed. It's just you're seeing things differently than you would have normally. It's giving you an opportunity to possibly get a new perspective on some things. And the eclipses can be dramatic depending on how far off your path that you've been. And I say that because I personally had a near-death experience tied to a blood... if I could speak, Mercury's already in shadow. I had a near-death experience tied to a full blood moon total lunar eclipse in October of 2014. So they can bring closure, and they can bring endings, but they can also bring new birth and new life. I never studied astrology really, or tarot, or anything metaphysical before I had the house fire. But after I survived it, I needed to answer the question, why? Uranus is my rising planet. It's the planet that's closest to my ascendant line. And Uranus is the planet that deals with liberation, change, and rebellion. And a key word of a Uranian spirit is why. Why? And I needed to answer why. And astrology and tarot gave me answers that nothing else and nobody else ever could. That's why I started doing this. I'm a Scorpio rising. That lunar eclipse was in Aries. There was a solar eclipse about a week and a half, 2 weeks later in Scorpio. And that's when I started studying all of this. So, I mean, depending on how far off your path that you've been, it can be a rather dramatic jerk back. You may have to go through a life, death, and rebirth process in some years of your life to get back on the path that you need to be on, or that you needed to be on all along. And that's not to scare any of you. I just feel like knowledge is power, and I believe in empowering people. So the more you know, the more able you are to make the most informed decisions that you can make. And an informed decision is better than an uninformed or a misinformed decision. So what I'm going to do now is shuffle my tarot cards for you, Virgo, because I did some rambling there. I'm sorry. But it was done in love. Shuffling my cards for my Virgo viewers. The house placements that I spoke about earlier are for the rising sign of Virgo, but the tarot cards can be for anybody with Virgo energy. Let me make that clear. I've had some people get confused about what I'm saying, and I'm probably not articulating it well. So I'm sorry if that's the case. But this is a general reading for... Okay. I had like... Well, y'all can see them. Cards fall out. There's a bunch of them. But this is a general reading for my Virgo viewers and friends. It's like 7 cards that fell out, so I'm going to put them back in the deck. I did look at them really quick to see if any of them may pop out in the spread, but I'm going to cut the deck now. Bottom card represents the underlying theme or overarching energy of the spread, and the top 3 are for clarity. If you need a time frame association with the cards, we can go past, present, future. I'm now going to shuffle for you my Illuminated Tarot deck by Caitlin Keegan. I really like this deck. It's a dual-purpose deck in many different ways. It can be used as a playing card deck, but it can also be used as a tarot card deck. She took the major arcana cards and reduced them into the minor arcana. So some of the cards that fall have a dual purpose meaning as well. I'll bring forth as many of the messages as I can for whatever cards that fall for you. The messages are clarity for my Virgo viewers and friends. Cutting the deck for y'all. I'm going to take the top and the bottom card from this deck. And finally, I'm shuffling the Sage Goddess Gemstone Oracle deck, and I'm going to pull 2 cards for you from this deck as well. One from the top and one from the bottom of the cut deck. You had a card jump out. So that's a Lanyap card. Little something extra. Cutting the deck for you now. Top card. Bottom card. Alright, Virgo, what I'm going to do now is hit the pause button, flip these cards over, do the tarot math, and I'll be right back. Hang tight, y'all. Hi Virgo, I'm back with your cards, so let's go ahead and get started after I take a drink because I feel a cough and spell finna come on. Okay, y'all. Bottom card representing the underlying theme or overarching energy of the spread is the Major Arcana card, the Moon reversed. I feel like this is dealing with the Lunar Eclipse, but also speaking to Mercury being in retrograde during the eclipse season. Eclipse season starts on the 7th, and it rounds out after the solar eclipse at the end of the month. The moon is reflective of traditionally the zodiac sign of Pisces and the theme of compassion. I tend to see the moon sign as dealing with any of the water signs because the moon rules the tides. We've got Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces all ruled by the modality of water, the element of water. And this is the 18th card of the Major Arcana. 1 plus 8 is 9. That speaks to the 9th house on the astrological wheel. That is the house of Sagittarius. And what's interesting is that we have Saturn going direct in Sagittarius, which is your 4th house, Virgo rising. The 4th house deals with Cancer. It deals with, and Cancer is ruled by the moon as well. So, possibly dealing with mother issues, possibly dealing with your spouse, like female possibly spouse, or feminine energy. Saturn going direct in Sagittarius. Saturn's been there since the end of 2014, testing that part of the sky for you. I think of Saturn's transit as a building code inspector. Wherever Saturn goes, it tests the house that it's transiting through. And like I said, for Virgo rising, that is the 4th house. That's the house of your home and family and your roots and your foundations. That's the people that you share your home with, your parents and your spouse, your children, your fur babies. It's also the actual structure of the dwelling place, the structure of the family, and the structure of the home of your soul, your body, your teeth, and your bones. It's also your personal and tightly held beliefs, religious, or however you identify. It's a lot just in one card. This card, especially in the reverse, it says to me that you've not been following your instincts or you've not been paying attention to your gut reactions, and that's something that you need to do. Because you're very analytical and you see things from a different perspective than most people do anyways. And you think things your mind beats your mind up. Your mind beats up a situation. It tears it apart. It dissects it and it breaks it completely down. And that gives you the ability to see it from a different perspective. The card that fell in the past position for you is the King of Wands. The King of Wands is representative or reflective of masculine fire sign energy. That is Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. The Kings are reflective of authority or authoritative energy. This guy is a visionary or an entrepreneur, but the fact that he's in reverse could be that he's been down on his luck for a while, if this is an actual individual. If it's not an individual, it could be the business idea that you have or had isn't where you thought it would be, but you're still looking towards the future when it comes to that idea. It could be that the lunar eclipse in that 6th house of work and health reflects to you in some way or another that you need to go back to the drawing board. It's not a give up situation. It's a redo situation. And with Mercury going retrograde, it's perfect for a redo. So don't give up hope. Go back to the drawing board and redo it. The card that fell in the present position is the 8 of Wands in reverse, and this card reversed or upright basically means the same thing in my eyes. The number 8 represents change. It also speaks to the 8th house on the astrological wheel, which is ruled by Scorpio, and that's a pretty intense house. It's the house of life, death, and rebirth. It deals with other people's money. It's the house of sexuality, intimacy, it deals with primal, basic, or human instincts, or transformation, regeneration, and metamorphosis. The Wands, once again, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The 8th house is interesting because you had Uranus go retrograde in Aries, and that is your 8th house for the Virgo risings. Uranus is the planet of shocks and surprises, liberation and rebellion and change. And with Uranus going retrograde in the 8th at the very beginning of the month, it's probably the fact that you will be reflecting on Venus going retrograde earlier in the spring. And Venus rules love, beauty, harmony, money, and resources. So during the spring of this year, you were reflecting on your partner's money, your partner's contributions, and what your partnerships mean to you and which partnerships you valued and didn't value. And this card in itself deals with fast messaging. It can represent travel or movement. I also see it as passionate exchanges. This can be the arrows of love. Passion is something that can be measured on a scale. Passion can be lustful, and it can be flat out pissed off and mad about it. So just understand that passion, once again, sliding scale, could be good, could be bad, just depending on which side of the scale you're on. The card that fell in the future position I like for you is the 10 of Pentacles upright. The 10 speaks to the theme of completion. It also speaks to the 10th house on the astrological wheel. That house is ruled by Capricorn, and it's the house that I think of through a Shakespearean quote of all the world is a stage. I think of the 10th house as the stage that you approach the world on, and it's how the world knows you. It's through your career, your status, and your reputation. You're dealing with authority figures in your world or in their field of expertise. The Pentacles deal with earth sign energy and can represent a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn in your world. This card in itself deals with wealth, possibly generational wealth or inheritance, which would fall under the theme of 8th house, which would be other people's money. I also see this card as being able to go out and enjoy your money, enjoy your wealth, and be able to enjoy the finer things in life, to provide for yourself and for others that you care about. The elderly in your world, but also the small children. There's a kid back here. And the animals as well. So you have a full and bountiful life, and you're able to enjoy the bounty, the prosperity. 10 of Pentacles, that's the most pentacles that you're going to get in the suit. So that's a good thing. In the upright, it's even better. It's almost like blessings flowing to you, or blessings finding you in one way or another. Now, I did the tarot math on the traditional Rider-Waite tarot cards. It ended up being 36. 3 plus 6 is 9, and that speaks to that 9th house on the astrological wheel. That 9th house, again, is the house that's ruled by Sagittarius. And it deals with long-distance trips, adventures and questing. It deals with higher education. This can be the study of religion, philosophy, astrology, metaphysics, like this stuff right here. It can be legal system matters. It can be political system matters as well, among many other things. And again, Saturn, the planet of limitation, structure, and containment, is going direct in Sagittarius. And for the Virgo rising out there, that's the 4th house. The 4th house is the house of Cancer. That's the house of home and family, roots and foundations. Cancer is ruled by the moon, and the moon showed up in your spread as the underlying theme or overarching energy of your spread. So check the structure of the dwelling that you live in, especially around the moon cycles, the full moon, the new moon. The lunar eclipse, the 7th, is the full moon time period, so there may be a lot of water, there may be a lot of emotions, because I mean, I see water falling around the home, and that can be water falling in the home due to a busted pipe or something like that. It can be water outside of the home, leaky roof. It could be water flowing in the home because it's tears, because the home is falling apart due to, God forbid, a divorce or something, or God forbid, like a death, or just the fact that somebody has to move because there's no means to support the family any other way but away. So that's kind of where I get those messages from and how I do that. Now, I also pulled for you from the Illuminated Tarot deck by Caitlin Keegan 2 cards for clarity, and the first of that was the 7 of Clubs. And this card is dealing with vigilance and the struggle to stay ahead. The 7 of Clubs is reflective of the 7 of Wands energy in the Rider-Waite Tarot, and the 7 of Wands deals with the theme of faith, and it also speaks to issues of competition and perseverance. I think of the 7 of Wands as a defending your ground, or feeling defensive, or being like you're probed or poked at in one way or another. It could also feel like nobody has your back. And the second card that I pulled for you from the Illuminated Tarot card deck is the 3 of Clubs, which deals with success in business and an effort rewarded. The 3 of Clubs also reflects the 3 of Wands in the Rider-Waite Tarot. The 3 of Wands, again, dealing with fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The number 3 deals with communication. And that's going to be a big issue for you for the month of August, because your ruling planet is going retrograde in your sign. You're going to feel like wires aren't crossing right. You're going to feel like people just aren't understanding you. You could feel like you are speaking another language to other people, Or it could be that you are just really going back and digging through old records and reassessing and relooking. It's a good time to reflect. Like I said before, anything with the prefix re, good idea. Good time for renegotiation. Time to reconnect. Time to reflect. Time to reassess. But the Three of Wands also deals with the idea of preparation and foresight. So it could be if you go back and you look at your old records, you could go back to find something that you missed, which will help you in preparation for whatever it is that you're working towards to get to this Ten of Pentacles. Or you may find that someone hasn't been doing their job properly. Or it could be that it could be found out that you haven't been doing your job properly. It could work both ways. Now, you had 3 cards from the Sage Goddess Gemstone Oracle card deck fall. So, the first of the 3 is the Leopard Skin Jasper card. It deals with shamanic journeying, animal energy, and healing. It helps heal and amplify the vibrations of the root chakra. It reads, Leopard Skin Jasper helps you connect with animal spirit totems, practice shamanic journey work, and to adapt to new circumstances and maintain your energetic equilibrium. You've pulled this card because you are managing and navigating a change in your life. So meditate with Leopard Skin Jasper to receive ancient wisdom, to heal physically, and to develop spiritually. The second card that fell for you is the Green Adventuring Stone. It deals with energy, abundance, and self-assurance. It can help heal and amplify the vibrations of the heart chakra. Green Adventuring is a stone of luck, abundance, and growth, bringing more of what you seek into your world. You've pulled this card because your finances, your business, your family, or some other aspect of your life is ready for expansion. So meditate with Green Adventuring for a zestful approach to life, renewed assurance, and prosperity of all kinds. That's a nice card. Goes pretty well with that Ten of Pentacles. And the last card is the Blue Argonite card. It deals with intuition, empathy, and peace. It can help heal and amplify the vibrations of the throat and heart chakras. Blue Argonite intensifies psychic abilities, stabilizes emotions for empaths, and heals old emotional wounds. It aids in better communication. Dear Virgo, I mean, come on now. I can't make this stuff up. You have pulled this card to support you in overcoming the shield of numbness you use to block out the intense emotions of others. So meditate with Blue Argonite to stabilize yourself, open your intuition, and to heal emotionally. Communication is going to be a big theme for you. One of the best things that I've ever learned in communication is the fact that not everyone knows how to do it. There are a lot of people who think that they're communicating, but they're just waiting for their turn to speak. But to communicate means to actively listen. And when you're actively listening, that means that you're listening intently to what the other person is saying and not trying to formulate your response. You can formulate your response once they're finished speaking. The second thing that I've learned is the fact that sometimes you can wait and actively listen and still be misunderstood. And it's always good to follow up whatever it is that you were speaking of by saying, does that make sense? Or am I making sense? And if you are, then you get that feedback. But if you aren't, then you get the opportunity at that point to re-clarify yourself, or the opportunity to try to re-clarify yourself. Just a couple of tips that I've learned from debate and how communication really is something that we all kind of take for granted. Remember, not everybody's going to listen actively. Try to start being a more active listener in your world if that's something that you haven't been practicing very well. And also follow up your statements, especially if they're long-winded or not very clear or can be confusing and you know it, by saying, does that make sense, or do you understand, or did I make that clear? But don't do it in a condescending way, of course, because communication ultimately is about the exchange of ideas, right? So, Virgo, I'm sending you a lot of love. I do hope that you're well. Slow down, take your time, and don't freak out if you're having a hard time communicating. It will get better. But it may feel like hell for about a few weeks. Good thing to note, though, Mercury will be going direct on September 5th at the very point where we had the solar eclipse. So if you pay attention on the 21st of the month, you're going to be being revisited by something very close to that very same idea, theme, or possibly same situation on the 5th of September. So heads up, y'all. Take care. I'm sending you so much love. Please take care of yourself, and please be kind to yourself. And save some of that kindness for others in your world, because we're all going through private battles that some of us may never speak about to another living soul. And if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you already have, I thank you from the bottom of my very grateful heart. I'll see y'all soon. Around the 20th, 21st, I'm going to be pulling some oracle cards for guidance and clarity throughout this eclipse season for us all. It may be streamed live. I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to figure that out. I still have a few more of these monthlies to get finished and some private videos to get out before that happens. So send me some love on this end, because I'll send it back to you. Take care, y'all. I'll see you soon. Namaste, and I love you, Virgo.